having listened to that, I'm going to talk to you about some process indicators. So the Hamilton Immigration Partnership Council has been established since 2009. We developed our immigration strategy in 2010. So since then, we've done some major evaluations around process indicators. And going forward, we hope to get into more of that value-added piece. So I'm going to speak to you today about three of our major evaluation projects. First of all, we measured the level of coordination among our service providers, and we're actually in our third year of measuring this. Secondly, we looked at the contributions of our partners in terms of dollar value and the impact that we've had on their work. And thirdly, we looked at how far we've come in implementing the immigration strategy that was developed in 2010. So I'll just briefly go through each one of these and give you some idea of what they entailed. So the first was the service provider survey. This went out to providers across the community. And as I mentioned, currently we're in our third year of administering that. It's an online survey. And questions in the survey focused on providers' ability to refer their newcomer clients to services provided by other organizations. So we had a great response rate of 378 service providers this past year. And results showed that there was an increase in knowledge of other services compared to last year's results. In fact, providers this year said that they had access to the information that they needed to make referrals and that they were confident in referring their newcomer clients to other services. They also indicated that the materials and resources that have been produced by the Hamilton Immigration Partnership Council were useful in helping them make those referrals. So from here, with this information, what we have done is the areas in which level of knowledge wasn't as great, we will produce products and materials to increase that level of knowledge, and so that we've added into our work plan. And also, this current iteration of the survey, we've added some questions around how providers are specifically collaborating with other providers. And as well, we're going to ask them a little bit about if and how they work with informal service providers. So the other piece of evaluation that we've done and are going to redo again this year is looking at quantifying the contributions from our partners. And this was an online survey that was distributed by the Social Planning and Research Council. It went to all of our partners, and by that I mean members of the leadership table, members of the working groups, our municipal partners, as well as community partners who have assisted us in this work since its inception. The questions for this survey focused on the type and amount of contribution that partners had made to this work, and also how our work has impacted what they do. So in total, we've had over $1.5 million contributed, and that's in-kind and financial contributions, as well as funds leveraged. And those funds leveraged have contributed to the renovation, I should say, of social housing units that are multi-bedroom units for newcomer families. So we have actually another project on the go in Hamilton that hasn't been added into this dollar figure, and that's a $2.9 million project. Similarly, it is for social housing units of multi-bedroom units for large newcomer families. And also, results of this survey showed that our partners said that because of their work with the Partnership Council, that they felt there was greater collaboration among providers. On the whole, they felt that there was a greater awareness of newcomer issues. People who completed this survey also said that they had integrated newcomer issues into their work plan and that their organizations had integrated newcomer issues into their strategic plans. So as I mentioned, this survey is going to be re-administered in the winter, and we've added some questions on this that focus on the number and the nature of partnerships that have been established because of the Partnership Council. We're also going to look at their partners' level of commitment, what makes them motivated to be part of the Partnership Council, and how committed they are. Finally, at the third year of implementing our immigration strategy, we felt it was time to see how far we had come in reaching our strategic actions. And we did this through a third-party consultant who analyzed all the documentation that we had produced since our inception. So that meant media releases, work plans, reports to CIC, reports to our city council, PowerPoint presentations, event materials, work plans. So they took all of these documents, they analyzed them, they looked at the outputs and the outcomes, they mapped it against our immigration strategy, and you can see that the majority of our actions in our strategy have been addressed. And they also reported that stakeholders are now working in more innovative ways than they had been before. So projects in Hamilton are popping up that haven't happened before. We have folks working on reducing public transit rates for newcomer students of language courses. We have a really robust comprehensive research project underway on how to better work with informal networks in Hamilton. And we've had some events bringing together folks that have never come together before, especially in the health sector. So a lot of innovative things happening in Hamilton because of the Partnership Council. Also, this report said that because of the Partnership Council, there's a rich body of knowledge that is informing the work that is happening and the planning that is going on. They found evidence of systemic change in that silos have been broken down and that we're finding less competition among service providers and fewer duplication of services as well. So next steps in terms of this evaluation is we're going to take back the immigration strategy to the leadership table, which is happening next month, and they will look specifically at those items that we have not yet addressed in the strategy and determine if they're relevant, and if so, they'll be added onto a work plan. If not, maybe be reworked or removed. And also, now that we know how far we've come in our strategy, it's time for us to see what difference we're making on the community. So the next piece of this work is to develop a collective impact evaluation framework that is happening now, to be done by the end of the fiscal year and to be implemented next year. Excuse me. So just to recap, 3 large pieces of evaluation. The first looked at the level of coordination among service providers, and we found that that is increasing over the years. The second looked at the contribution from our partners, and we find we're having an impact on the work that they're doing. And the third has reported that we have achieved or addressed much of our immigration strategy. And finally, I've been asked just to briefly touch on how it is that we work with the Francophone Immigration Network. Because they are based out of Hamilton, we do a lot of work with these folks. We're involved in each other's strategic planning. We've collaborated on conducting local research. We also have planned events together, and we participate in each other's events. The director is on our leadership table, and the director and staff sit on members of our working group. If you'd like any of the reports that I've talked about, I do have them. Some are quite lengthy, but I can email them to you. Just contact me and I'll get them to you. Thank you.